Welcome back to The Circle. On the couch right now, we have a US comedian who is taking Australia by storm. He's been a regular on cable comedy shows in the States, and here's a clip that may jog your memory.
My brother's famous. His fame is exploding. I was a huge Rick James fan. That's the first person that I would say, out of all the celebrities that I met, that I was starstruck. We gonna hang out with Rick James tonight, you know what I'm saying? And here he comes out the room, and I look at him, and I'm not bull. I seen like an orange, his aura or whatever. I seen it. He's orange.
Please welcome the very talented Charlie Murphy.
Rick James sort of supersedes you, supersedes him.
Oh, yeah,
there are
absolutely.
people who don't know who anyone in the world is, but they know to say, I'm Rick James, bitch!
Yeah. So I'm glad I said that.
Isn't that amazing?
It's definitely amazing. Yeah. I credit that with being, why I got to do so many things in comedy and go so many places.
Yeah.
Because whatever country that airs in, I start looking on YouTube, Twitter, or whatever, and there's people saying, hey, come see us, So it's great that I chose to do that bit.
And that was entree into you and all the things.
Yeah, because when I said I was going to do that, it was 3 actresses that were around at the time, and they looked at me and they said, your career is going to be over after that. You're going to go in front of the camera and tell that story that you just told us. It's funny to us, but once it goes on, it's going to be over. And I said, yeah, I'm going to do it. And I did it, and guess what? I haven't seen them work since. I've been working,
Name them.
Stay honest. That taught me to stay honest, man. Just be honest.
But that's an interesting life so far. You got into comedy quite late. Now, your brother kind of was a trailblazer, American comedian, big international film star.
Huge, yeah.
Was that hard for you to sort of grow up in his... I know you're the older brother, but...
Yeah, I didn't grow up in his shadow. No.
But
he grew up in my shadow, but he's a different kind of person.
Sure.
And he chose this industry at a very young age, and I kind of migrated into it as things in my life unfolded. I came out to service. I was working for him. We was in L.A. I was around all of the, the hoopla and the entertainers and what have you. And what kind of spurred it initially was when you go in a room and it's 10 people and they're all famous and you're not, you kind of get a feeling like they're treating you like you're not grown. But we're adults, but you're not, because you're not like us. And I would say, yeah, wait a minute. You pooed it a little while ago and it stunk like mine. So, if you could do it, I could do it. And so I just started, developing myself right there.
So you said you came out of the service. You were in the Navy.
In the Navy, yeah.
What took you into the Navy? Why did you decide to join?
I had to do something. I come from Roosevelt, Long Island. That's where I went to high school. I'm from Brooklyn originally. I went to Roosevelt, and when I went to Roosevelt, it's known as the worst school on the entire eastern seaboard of the U.S. They're documented. They have TV shows about how bad the school was.
In terms of how rough it is?
Yeah, most people graduate from there and go to prison. That's how, you know what I'm saying? You don't go to college. You graduate from high school and then you go to jail.
Right.
So I didn't want to go to jail, so I joined the Navy.
Did that change?
Which was not too much better than jail,
But at least you're
I became a man there, is what I'm saying. I became a man in the military. I got my first bank account, my first apartment, my first wife.
I think it helped you to sort of grow up.
Absolutely.
Taught you discipline.
And I actually believe, and I tell people this openly, I think everybody should at least go through boot camp. When you're like 18, 19 years old, you need to go somewhere where it ain't about what you think, about what you want. This is what we're doing, and if you don't do it, there's going to be consequences. Because that never leaves you. Once they instill that in you, it goes with you for the rest of your life.
Now, we're talking at the start of the show about you recounting that story about going out and meeting Rick James, and it's part of your comedy routine to talk about this sort of life in Hollywood.
But I don't talk about, because that clip you showed was like 10 years old.
Yeah.
So I've been doing stand-up the whole time. I have, I don't really mention Rick James or any of that stuff because, my thing is this. Whenever I'm on stage, most people are getting exposed to me for the first time. and I want them to know off the back I'm not a gimmick. So I'm gonna
right.
talk about this, and then at the end of the show you'll be like, well, he didn't talk about, but I was laughing the whole time.
Yeah.
You know, I proved my point.
What about the Chappelle Show? That gave your career a big push.
That gave my career. That's why I'm here right now.
Yeah.
You know, I hold that solely responsible for legitimizing my career.
Because that's when people said, you know, Eddie's brother is brilliant. He's Eddie Murphy's
before that, it was
brother,
just, you know, I was in a movie, and I go, Eddie Murphy's brother was in the movie.
That's right.
And I would go to the premiere, and you're looking at this big screen, and your name is across the whole screen, and at the lights come on, they go, great job, Eddie Murphy's brother. So
But
the
now
Chappelle Show kind of took that.
In your career, you've worked with incredible people like Chris Rock.
Yes. Yeah.
Richard Pryor, who is a genius, I think. What's been the highlight for you?
All of it has been a highlight because, you know, when I got to work with Richard Pryor, I didn't even consider myself a legitimate actor. I felt that, you know, that was one of them jobs where it was like, Eddie Murphy's my brother, that's why I got in the movie. And so I got to be like this, but with these giants, you know? And I was smart enough to be observant and you know, soak up what they're giving off.
Right.
I wasn't afraid to do that, so I got that experience with him. I got that experience with Red Fox. You know, and those guys they're like giants.
Amazing guys.
You know what I'm saying? And I just brought it with me.
Now, this tour is called the Acid Trip Tour.
Yeah, Acid Trip Tour.
Why so called? For obvious reasons? Or
No,
is it...
no, not for obvious reasons. Most people, so what are you going to be talking about taking acid and promoting it? No. Acid Trip Tour is a metaphor for how crazy the world is right now. All the insanity that we're exposed to every day on television. We watch on TV, the news, as I watch the news constantly. Every day I see something that makes me go, wow, that really happened?
Yeah.
Yes, it did really happen. But it also could have been something that 5 years ago I could have made up as a story, and everybody would have been just as amazed because they would have thought it was something that could never possibly happen. So that's why I named it the Acid Trip Tour.
Yeah, it is a funny time. And I have to say, Charlie, it's great to meet you because you seem like you're in a really good place. You seem like you're quite...
I'm in Australia. I'm in a great place.
And personally and spiritually, you're in a good place as well. I get the feeling. Do you have any regrets when you think about your life so far?
My only regrets are, you know, that I have a career that I love that happens to take you away from your family.
Yeah.
That's the only. I wish it was some kind of way I could, you know, but you know, just like people who are in the military, they got to make sacrifices, and they're actually the ones who gave me, you know, something to go. Yeah, you know, you ain't got it that bad because you only leaving for a couple of days. They're leaving for 18 months. You know, so if they can do it, you can do it. If their families can handle it, your family can handle it.
Yeah, but your family must miss you like crazy because you are a beautiful, beautiful man, and I miss you already, and you haven't even gone. Ladies and gentlemen, please thank beautiful Charlie Murphy. Such a spirit you have. You need a big spirit to overcome the fact that you're someone big's brother, and you got it, man.
Thank you.
You have a big,
Appreciate that.
beautiful spirit. Extra shows have been added in Melbourne and Sydney, so get there quick before they sell out as well. All the info's on our website, of course, and stick around. We'll see you after this break on The Circle.